American Music Awards. She's totally current, totally today. She has a Christmas album that I got to hear like 3 tracks from her album, and it's amazing. I believe last night she won at the Native American Music Awards, which I understand is going to be picked up on FNX right on. I am the proud recipient of 2 Native American Music Awards myself and 11 nominations, so we're happy to see the Namis get on this channel. And once again, guys, we love FNX television, and we love what show? Wankasia.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, I'm Jimmy Young.
Jimmy.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Jimmy, regarding what's happening with the Grammy Awards and your nomination and Linda Blair, let's first talk about how you got nominated, and then let's talk about Linda Blair and Foundation.
I'm actually a Grammy finalist, not a nominee. What they do is they pick a very small group of songs, and then those songs become nominees, but it's like about 5 out of 10 or something like that. And what they basically do is they give you the opportunity to become a Grammy member, which opens up so many doors to you. Because of that Grammy final, my career totally took off. We've toured in Switzerland, we've toured in Canada, we're touring in the United States. Currently, we're just finishing up our Southern California tour. Linda Blair happens to live in Southern California, and she and I met about 6 years ago, and we're like best friends now. And so I'm often out at the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation. She's rescuing all the pit bulls that get abandoned and abused. She's here tonight, and I'm really excited that FNX has decided to pick up this bit of information and take it out nationally, because her work is amazing.
Well, it is important. Recently I was talking to Lou Gossett Jr.
Awesome.
And Lou has an organization called Eracism. And really what's happening is, it's not, racism isn't just about black people. Racism is dealing with all sorts of cultures in our world. And his foundation is about educating the next generation, hopefully that we won't have these problems with racism. That's why his foundation is called eracism.foundation.org. From your point of view as an American Native Indian, if you will, what has been done to equalize racism so that you don't have to face it so much with your own tribe, with your own culture, shall we say?
I think one of the things that are real important lately is that urban Indians, people who are raised in the suburbs away from the reservations, are reaching out for their culture. I think FNX is one of those mediums that is instrumental in bringing that culture, Native American culture, to urbans. And so in fighting racism and in trying to move ahead from our checkered American past, I think the thing is enlightenment, education. These things are so important that so people start to kind of groove together like they did when we were kids, and not fight each other so much or not judge each other so much. And Native American culture, much of it is based on spirituality, on love and loving the world, Mother Earth, Father Sky, and all the animals underneath. So I think that's part of erasing that racism has been the struggle to bring Native American values to our culture and our community and to outside community.
Well, another thought on that, since you mentioned that, is the fact that when we deal with obstacles in life, there are different ways that people handle their obstacles. Some people deal with God, some people have their parents to guide them, and other people meditate. How did you overcome your obstacles?
I have a very strong spiritual belief. I was raised as a Catholic kid, and after 12 years of Catholic school, at 18, I gave up all religion for a certain amount of time, and through the years, rediscovered a spirituality, which is, for myself, part Christian and part Native American. When you talk about these things, sometimes they seem like they're very different, when they're really not so far removed. Spirituality comes from within, from the soul, and when all of us express it, it doesn't matter if you're a Catholic or a Muslim or Jewish or whatever. If you value your fellow man, if you value the Creator, whatever name you give to that Creator, that's what's important.
Well, as we leave on this broadcast, let's first promote your album.
Right on.
And let people know where they can get that album, if you will.
The new album is called Great Spirit. It won 2 awards at Indian Summer Music Awards. It was nominated Native American Music Awards. It garnered us, or me, Los Angeles Native American Artist of the Year 2 years in a row, which I'm really happy with. It's nice to rule in Los Angeles. When you win here, you win big. And the album is available at cdbaby.com, at iTunes, and wherever downloads are available.
Well, Jimmy, I want to thank you for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
And remember to keep your visions positive, keep positive people around you, and until then, We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Rock on!
No. Give your website one more time and where they can get the music.
The music is available at www.cdbaby.com, at iTunes, and wherever downloads are available.
All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Pete
you.
Allman, thank you.
See you inside. Take care. Thank you.
All right, folks, we're live on the Wiley Drake Show. That's what's going on here on the red carpet. And if we have others come up on the red
We have
carpet.
two wonderful people coming up. Shelley Morningstar.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get them and interview them. And we are at the Scottish Rite Temple in Long Beach, California. Some of us who spent time on vacation, compliments of the United States government, that is in the U.S. Navy, spent quite a bit of time in this town. This is a Navy town, or was a Navy town. Come on down. We've got some other folks coming up.
You want to do them first, or how do you want to do it?
Yeah. Let me interview him first.
Hi.
Hi, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Are
You gonna hold that?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, bud?
Hey, Mr. Banda, how are you? Wear the mask?
Good, boss.
How's everything going?
But you, how's family? Can I have you stand a little closer to the light here? There we go.
Hey, can we have you, are you ready?
Yes.
Can we have you introduce yourself with your tribal affiliation as well?
Yes, my name is Sam Bearpaw. I'm from the White Mountain Apache tribe and also the Warm Springs tribe of New Mexico.
Great, and can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here tonight?
Well, a good friend of mine, Lenore Andrio from the Yellow Rock movie, she called me up and said, "Hey, Sam, are you coming out to that Native Harmonies thing out there in Long Beach?" And I said, "Well, I didn't know anything about it." And I've been gone. I've been on a trip out doing some filming and stuff. And I just happened to be doing a photo shoot out in Mulholland Drive earlier today, and I said, "I might as well stop in and check it out, support the Yellow Rock movie, the Native Harmonies program thing going on here." So I'm very glad to be here to support all the Native people. So.
What can you tell us about some of the performers that you're going to see tonight? Can you tell us a little bit about?
Well, I'm not sure of the drum that's here, the native drum, unless they're just going to play CDs or not. But I brought my drum just in case, so we can sing some songs in case the drum doesn't show up. Always have a drum ready to jam out with, you know. So, and what was the question again?
Oh, if there was any specific artists that are performing today that you
well, all my friends are all the dancers, all the people here dancing are all my friends. Shelley Morningstar and Fabian Fontanelle, good friends of mine for a very long time. You know, so I'm here to see them all. And Red Spirit, those guys, Jimmy Lee, all these guys, we're here to support them and try to help them out with their causes.
Are you familiar with the FNX channel at all?
Not really. I'm not really familiar with all that stuff. You know, I have an iPad, but I'm not really all familiar.
Okay. But what are your thoughts on having a TV station? It's a national TV station, but it's 24/7 all Native and Indigenous content.
100%. 100%. Let's go. I'm ready to volunteer to help out. Absolutely, 100%. 24/7, just like Powwow Radio, all day, all night.
Amen.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, yeah, I'm also one of the stars on the Deadliest Warrior, the Spike TVs. I play Crazy Horse, the main character. I'm one of the stars in the Yellow Rock movie that we're doing here tonight, and a few other things to PSA. Oh, yeah, also, you got to tune in to the internet for a program called from the Giebert Center. It's called Stop Violence Against Women and Girls Now. So that's a PSA. So if you look on the internet, find that. It'd be really nice if you like the page and did all that stuff.
Do you have any messages for aspiring actors or maybe musicians?
It's a tough world, you know, acting and whatnot. It's very difficult to get into the business, but once you do, you just keep on trying and don't get upset. Whatever you do, if you go for an audition and they don't call you, don't be upset. But one day they're going to call you and you're going to be right for that part. Just enjoy your life and don't be upset about anything. Just keep on trying and doing the best you can. Practice acting in the mirrors, making funny faces, smiling and all that. Do your best. As Native people, we need to be on the forefront of this new age in media. So keep trying, every one of you, each and every one of you, children, adults, elders, everyone that's getting into the media business. Try hard, keep going, don't stop. Okay?
Rick, I'm Pete Allman. How are you?
Hi. How are you doing?
Are you over here? Okay. Who's next? Shelley Morningstar. I'll have you over here and Shelley over here. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wiley Drake Show live in Long Beach. We're live on the air right now. Shelley Morningstar's been on my program before. We filmed Shelley when she was down at
Shoreline
Village. And so go right ahead. We're live. Go ahead,
And
Pete.
we are live. This is Sam Bearpaw. We're talking a little bit about the concept of working together in harmony as actors and entertainers. And we're here at a concert that's featuring Greta Coolidge, if you will. And
great singer.
Great singer, yes. And she lost her sister about a month ago, unfortunately. So it takes a lot of guts to do those things. And let us talk a little bit about what you were talking about as far as the foundation and the organization. I don't quite remember it. You can tell us now.
Yeah, the Native Harmonies.
Native Harmonies.
Native
Harmonies,
Harmonies, the one we're promoting right now.
Right.
Yes, and Yellow Rock, the movie down there.
Right. Let's talk about the movie Yellow Rock. What's the message of that movie?
Well, it's a western, and we try to in that movie, it's depicting the native as a human, as both sides of the not only the greed part, the gold hunting and all that stuff, but they have parts in the movie where the natives feel instead of they're just riding around on horses and attacking people and doing that kind of stuff. They have feelings and that kind of stuff. So the movie actually perpetuates the native culture in a good way.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We need more movies that are Western oriented.
Yes.
Tommy Lee Jones just came out one with The Houseman. I think they call it The Houseman.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. But the theme of the movie that you're doing now, again, and
It's a western.
Will it be in the theaters?
Yes, we're working on that right now.
Good.
Absolutely.
And is there a trailer somewhere people can go to and see?
Yes. Look up Yellow Rock the movie, and you'll be able to see that. Absolutely.
Okay, Yellow Rock the movie, folks, and you can see
it. Dead Men, the series. Look up on that one also. I was in that one. Spike TV's Deadliest Warrior, Crazy Horse. Check that one out, and a few other things too. The Stop Violence Against Women and Girls Now. You got to Google that.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Amen.
Your thoughts about that? About sex trafficking and these poor young women that are forced into something that will be in their minds forever, that they can't erase on this sex trafficking. There are problems with it.
Well, that's such an awful thing. I have 4 of my daughters, and I also have sisters and a mother, and growing up as the only brother, you end up having a sense of protection for them, and you see the different things that happen with the girls in your family, how some of the men, they become tough and start to push them around and do things like that, and as the only brother, you have to stick up for them. So I have this feeling of trying to help different programs just like that, Stop Violence Against Women and Girls Now, to promote, how men are strong and they need to protect our women, instead of to do things like trafficking and things like that, because they're just lost in their own spirits if they can't have that knowledge of protecting their mothers and their sisters and other women in this world. It's very important that as men, as warriors, protect them. So my thoughts on that is just, it's a heinous thing, and we need to stop it.
As we leave on this broadcast, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention a foundation that's really trying to make a change in America and the world, and that's a gentleman by the name of Louis Gossett Jr., who started the Racism Foundation.
Right.
And racism is a situation that exists with all nationalities. People need to be educated, and it needs to start with our young people for the next generation. As an American Native Indian yourself, I'm sure you've experienced racism.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
I've
your
been
thoughts
called
on
all kinds of
that?
names.
Your thoughts?
Well, I was taught to try to ignore that. Don't let it get the best of you. And I've heard I've run the gamut on the names, and I got to tell you, it's a hurtful feeling, but you just got to understand that some people just don't have that same feeling that other humans do, and they just want to be mean for some reason or just hate you because you're a native. I've had that out in Arizona when they had this kind of meeting they had going over there, and if you were brown, you were going to be sticking around, is what I'm saying, and it's pretty tough, and it doesn't really, it's just hurtful is what it is, and you try as best as you can to try to educate the people on those kind of things, and you try to inform the kids, you know, because I go to New York every year, and I inform thousands of kids. I perform for the school district out there in New York, and I try to enlighten them and help them with the native culture and things like that, that you don't pick on people just because of their colors and because their hair is different, or, you know, their eyes are different, or whatever the problem is. You don't do that, and I promote that everywhere I go, just because of being bullied myself. And even now, even in this time and age, I got bullied. You know, I got bullied not too long ago, a couple of years ago, you know, by a big tough guy, and, you know, I just stood up to him and he backed down. You know, I don't advise anyone to go around sticking up for themselves, just get away from that situation. But he ended up backing down, and, you know, even me in my 50s getting bullied. You know, can you imagine?
Yeah, I can't imagine.
So it runs rampant, and you know, it's awful.
Your website?
If you Google Sam Bearpaw, you'll find all the information on there, all my information. RedSamBearpaw@yahoo.com.
Sam, I want to thank you for talking with us.
Okay.
And as I always tell the audience out there, keep your visions positive.
Right.
Keep positive people around you.
That's right.
And until then, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
All right.
That's right.
Thank you so much, and please have any of your foundations get in touch with us. We're more than willing and able to advertise for you. Just get in touch with the WileyDrakeShow.com. We'll be glad to help in any way we can. I happen to have 3 daughters and 6 granddaughters, so I have a personal interest in this of helping protect our ladies.
Right.
So get in touch with us. And thank you for being on the Wiley Drake Show tonight.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. So, and I think Rick is next. FNX is going to interview you, Rick. Right over here. I'll take care of you. Yeah.
Am I starting on the end with my role at FNX? I can't. I've been in FNX before. Sorry, guys. I am.
All right.
Back now.
We're here with Shelley Morningstar, and of course we're live. And cut. We're here with Shelley Morningsong. I don't, you know, she is a star, but it's Morningsong.
And she's been on the Wiley Drake Show before from Shoreline Village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The important part of what we're talking about today has to do a little bit with compassion and understanding and education for people to open up and not to be so racist. And this is through a foundation of a friend of mine named Louis Gossett Jr., a great and wonderful Academy Award-winning actor. And his foundation is racismfoundation.org. As a beautiful female that's that's American Native Indian, you have come across some people that are ignorant and that have dealt with racism. And what are your thoughts? Is it improving right now, or is it still a problem that exists in our society with the American Native Indian, for example?
It's a problem in our society, as it always has been for thousands of years, and I think that's really sad, but I don't see that changing soon because people are stepping away, and we experience that as we have my husband and I.
How important is it to support?
My husband is, I wish he was here right now, he is a full-blood Zuni Omaha Native American Indian. In my family, we have mixed culture, so we have Northern Cheyenne and Dutch, and so I have a lot of compassion for all people, and I'm very much against racism, especially because I come from a mixed background. So I just believe that all of life is sacred, and we honor one another and honor all of life. And I believe that we're all connected, and we are all related.
3 years ago,
So many people, wherever we travel, we talk to, we have so much in common as people of all races.
You have an album out, and I want the people to get that album. It's so beautiful. How can they get that album?
You can find our music at our website, which is ShelleyMorningsong.com.
ShelleyMorningsong.com. And you'll love the album. It's really great. In the meantime, I think that I was talking to some other people, and they've got movies coming out. Westerns are coming back. Hopefully they'll do well, and hopefully you'll be casting on some of those, okay? Thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you so much.
What project are you on right now?
Thank you so much. God bless you.
I'm glad I got a little preview. I did sign a new deal with a new company last week, and we're going to be doing producing a reality show called Apache Sunrise. with yours truly surviving. So between that and Native America, that is two very, very important projects that are on the platform that are going to bring a huge amount of awareness of Native content, of culture, of the existence of Native America today and past, and what we can create for the future. So.
Well, looks like I'll be calling you up soon to hook up with you again, brother.
I hope so.
If you want to work with me once, I'll work with you anytime, you know that.
I hope so, man. Good to see you.
You too.
All right.
Okay, Rick.
All right, here
And we
we
got
are.
a little light over here. It's getting dark.
We have a little light. No, that one right there. All right, there we go. All right, what's going on, my man?
Welcome to the Wiley Drake Show live on the Internet television.
Yes, Mr. Drake, good to be on your show again.
Thank you. You've been there before, and we
I
thank
have.
you so much for coming back again.
Well, Rick, I had mentioned to you earlier that a friend of mine, Louis Gossett Jr., is doing some wonderful things about interfeeding people. And in the world that we live in, we try to educate people through our projects to give a message out there to society. And what Louis is doing is he would like to eradicate racism. You're of American Native descent, if you will, and although you're doing very good in your career, I'm sure you've confronted people that need to be educated about this situation. Your thoughts on that particular subject that I'm talking about, racism?
Racism is a very charged and powerful word. So I guess when we approach, anytime we approach something with that sensitive of a nature, you have to be conscious of what energy is feeding this word, racism. We are already working within an infrastructure of a system set up for a specific person and not necessarily a specific culture. And so what we have now is a conflict of culture and person. And I don't know if we're ever going to be able to eradicate racism, but we can definitely all play a part in medicating the people and to understand the important values and the aspects of racism that come into play, because, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. And it almost perpetuates itself, because a lot of times communities and cultures really do tend to stick together just based out of comfort and security, and that creates a racially charged element. So eradicate, no. Educate, yes. Manage, yes. And I think that the nurturing words, I think, are more worthy of approaching how to approach racism and how we help people understand, educate.
Lou was brought up in Brooklyn, and he was very protected as a young man, and then as he moved into being the phenomenon he was at 17, and the giant step that he appeared on Broadway and starred. But when he came out to California, he found what racism was all about. I, as a young man, always listened to James Brown, rhythm and blues, and always hung around the clubs with African American people. So I was criticized through my parents complaining about that, but I didn't let that bother me. I dealt with all nationalities, and so the reason I'm mentioning that is it never really bothered me to be around any particular race. I just felt comfortable. Can't that happen with other people, in your opinion?
No, because that's a coastal opinion. Now you got to get to Middle America and Bible Belt, and I'm
That's
sorry
right.
to say they're going to give you a whole different take on your story. So
Yeah, I guess so.
And this is the problem. That's not a problem. This is the area that you have to be sensitive. This is the area that you have to be conscious, because it's not going to change. You're not going to erase it. This is a way of life that people have ingrained through generations. So all you can do now is manage, educate, and adjust. I mean, everybody has to be adjusting, and a lot of times, if you're in a very fast-paced infrastructure, adjustment is scary. Think about coming from the Midwest and then hopping, onto the East Coast or the West Coast. It sends a lot of people into another world.
Because they've never been raised to be open-minded in that respect.
I don't think they've ever been in that same room with as many different cultures at one time, all at once. I'm still often being put in situations where I am the only Native American in the room. And it's a phenomenon. And the irony is, I don't know how it is a phenomenon when you're on native land. And Los Angeles is almost 53%. Latin,
That's right.
and Mexican Indians are there. I mean, it's kind of a surreal ideology that I still walk into a room and I'm the only brown person in that room, or someone says, "Oh, I've never met a Native American before." I was thinking, how could that not be?
How could it not be?
How could it, yeah.
Are you serious? You're not in, like, Wisconsin, but even in Wisconsin they have.
Gee, really?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm open-minded. I travel to the United States. I've been to just about every state, and I travel the world. I know the phenomena of culture and race. Outside of the United States, each culture has their own place. And
They do.
I'm very blessed to be welcomed in every one of the places that I go. They're just, hey, we're so glad you're here, and I never met a Native American before.
Before we leave on the broadcast, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention you've got a couple of movies that you're doing, but it'd be nice if those movies had a good message to kind of uplift people, because movies can change people. They can motivate. They can inspire people.
I'm going to get you in a meeting at Warner Brothers. You can let them know how you want to. I support your view and your vision. Why don't you sell that pitch? Right now, I'm just blessed to get a Don part in a movie. So,
So what are the movies you're doing then?
I think in February it's coming out. I got Little Boy coming out with Kevin James. It's his first dramatic role. It's going to have Emily Watson and Michael Rappaport, Tom Wilkinson, Ben Chaplin. I play Kid Falcon. I have a horror movie coming out, I believe, called Savaged in February as well.
That's big. Horror movies are big.
I'm producing 2 docuseries and a reality show, so look forward to them. That they're going to be hitting the circuit pretty soon as well. And
Reality.
I'm going into the reality business. But only with me. It's just me. And you know what? I'm being real right now, so this is the beginning of reality.
This is the beginning of reality.
This is the beginning of reality.
And it's very cost effective, and people like it.
And I have a book. I have a book called The Codex of Awakening. I would love everybody, embrace everybody to come in, tap into the movement on Facebook. It's on Kindle, Amazon. Check it out at my website, rickmoore.com.
All right, rickmoore.com is the website. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, we'll give you an incentive. If you get the book, you read the book, come to my show, we'll put you on the air and let you give a book report live on the Wiley Drake Show.
Book report for the Codex on the Wiley Drake Show.
rickmoore.com. And for Celebrity C News, I'm Pete Allen saying keep your visions positive and keep positive people around you.
Amen.
Bye for now.
Peace. Amen. All right, very good, very good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another live interview with Pete Allen.
Switch because they're trying to move it along.
So what are we doing?
Got to get them first and you second.
Okay. Well, they did get them first.
Yeah, I know. They always go
Just Linda Blair.
opposite
Where's
sides.
Linda Blair?
Yeah, we're gonna not yet. We're gonna move them over.
All right, tell me what to do.
And this way, you guys get second first, only because they want to move forward. They don't want the interviews
All right,
too long.
all right.
I know both of you are teaming up. We got 2 shows. Wiley
That's
Drake
okay.
Show teaming up with Celebrity Scene News. Okay, thanks you guys. FNX, are you okay? Yes, we're good. Yeah.
This light helps.
Yeah, but we're okay. We're okay. We got pretty good light.
Who is that Linda Blair down there?
I'm not sure.
That is Linda Blair.
Is it?
Linda Blair, I think.
Yeah, same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on the red carpet in Long Beach, California. Pete Almon's been doing the interviewing, and you've heard the other people that he's interviewed. And we're here with other stations, and we're here live on the red carpet. And we're sort of trying to wait in place here to find out who's next, who's on first. FNX is here, and others are here, and now we're going to have some. Well, it's not too bad. That's dark down there, but if we get them up here.
You got to get over on this side.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, back on the red carpet.
But then they'll put it in slow
There we go.
motion. It'll be all
Slow motion.
And if I could have you move a little bit closer together. A little bit closer? Sure. We can do that. There.
Makes it a lot more fun.
That's actually really, really good. That's really, really good. All right, Robin, you want to say, can I have you say and spell your name for a sound check?
Steve Doucette. Steve, S-T-E-V-E. Doucette, D-O-U-C-E-T-T-E.
All right, and I'm going to have that's all good. Have her say and spell her name.
Lenore Andriel, L-E-N-O-R-D-A-N-D-R-I-L.
And if I could have them say and spell your name real quick.
Joe Villangeri, J-O-E, B-I-L-L-I-N-G-I-E-R-I.
I-E-R-E.
You spelled that wrong. What are we doing here today? Let us know, what are we doing here today?
Okay,
Promoting Yellow Rock.
Yes, we're all from Yellow Rock.
We're the Yellow Rock cheer team.
Yellow Rock cheerleaders.
The Native American Western called Yellow Rock, and we won 18 awards, and it's been out around the world, and we are all here together. I played Dr. Sarah, the female lead, and was the main producer, writer, with my co-writer, Steve Doucette, who was also our executive producer, and my wonderful castmates, Rick Mora, Crowfeather, Joe Billingieri, who played Chief White Eagle Feather, Sam Bearpaw, who played Strong Bear, and we're all here tonight supporting this wonderful concert, Native Harmonies, and we're honored to be here.
Absolutely.
What else can you tell us about Yellow Rock?
Yellow Rock actually just did a re-premiere, and all of my wonderful castmates were there at the Red Nation Film Festival, and that was on the 10th, a couple of days ago, and that was in Beverly Hills at the Laemmle Theater. And then we also, as guests, we were presenters at the awards at the Red Nation Film Festival, and now we're here tonight together as a whole wonderful family again.
Yep.
And the film has won the Red Nation before, and many other Native American Western festivals, as well as Western festivals. And we've traveled to a lot of them together, so it's formed a family.
And it's a really good movie too, so you got to see
Especially
it.
because
You have to see it.
especially because he doesn't have a shirt on and it's pretty
So
awesome.
along
In fact,
with
none of these men do.
Along with your film, who are you here to support besides obviously the obvious, but other artists and bands? Anybody in particular?
Yeah.
Oh
Jimmy
my-
Lee.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, all the dancers are our friends. You know, so we're here to support them also.
Yeah.
Native Harmonies.
And in the attitude of friends and family, our friends and family are watching you right now on television. Is there a place they could go to get a trailer or to get more information on it? Tell us where they can go.
Yes, we actually have a website, yellowrockmovie.com.
Okay.
We also are on Facebook, which is, of course, Yellow Rock Facebook. And you can get the movie actually on any of the .coms right now, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Blockbuster.com, etc. And watch our 18 award-winning film, and you can see the trailer both on the website and the Facebook page.
All right. Very good.
And Twitter.
Has the film ever been broadcast on broadcast television?
It actually has been, yes. It was on video on demand by NBC and Universal. And it will be going also to cable, probably Starz or Showtime, one of those coming up within the next year. And it's been distributed around the world, France, Italy, Germany, all the countries, England, Australia, Canada. It was broadcast on the Aboriginal People's Television Network, and that was all across Canada. And we'll be airing, I think, one more time, right, on APTN within the coming year, so probably around Christmas time. You can see all of us then.
Has it made its way to Russia and Germany? They love our culture. The Germans and the Russians love our culture. Has it made its way up there yet?
It's in Germany, and we actually have a copy of that. I think you guys have seen it in German, and you can see Yellow Rock. They kept it Yellow Rock.
French.
And French. It's been flipped to French, and yes, most of Europe it's actually been to now. I think the only places that it's not is in the Asian market and South America. The rest of the world's okay.
And it's a Western that's inspired by Dances with Wolves. It's got a great Western feel to it, and while combining the Native American culture. So we think it's a fun little Western that the whole family can enjoy.
Yeah, pretty heartfelt too. And we actually loosely based it on history here in California about so many of the wonderful Native American tribes that no longer exist. Primarily because of many issues, greed, politics, illness, etc. So, genocide. So this is actually a Western where the Native Americans actually win.
That's great.
For a little while, anyway. For a little while, yeah.
And it stars Michael Biehn and James Russo, and Michael and Eddie Spears, who cannot be here tonight, but I'm sure they wish they were.
And Zahn.
Don McFarlane,
Right
yes.
behind us.
Don is behind us?
Yeah.
Oh, where is he?
Okay, behind you, the other way.
Oh.
He's right there.
Oh my God, we've got to get Don over here as well. Yes, and we've all won Best Actor awards from it too.
Not all of us.
Whatever.
All of us tried hard.
one more quick question. I know Rick is familiar with FNX, but if you guys aren't familiar with FNX, it's basically like APTN. It's a newer station in the United States, First Nations experience. What are your thoughts on having a U.S.-based version of APTN, FNX, which focuses 24/7 on Native and Indigenous cultures?
Oh my God, that's a dream come true.
How could you not like that?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do whatever we can to help support that by all means.
Absolutely.
Because we have so many thousands and thousands of followers around the world that would love, we can absolutely promote that as well and would be more than happy and honored to do that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
we would love to be a broadcaster for you as well, so I'll have to talk to you about that. So.
Please.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Let's definitely do our card
I'll
exchange.
have my people get your
Coffee.
people.
You're
You
right.
guys will.
Do you have any positive messages for viewers that might be seeing this?
In terms of the Native Harmonies Conference?
Yes.
I think everyone really needs to sort of wake up to the beautiful First Peoples that were here and really recognize and support in any way, shape, and form all the beautiful music and dancing, the culture, the peacefulness and spirituality that really this completely has brought me to a whole nother level in my own evolution, and I invite everybody to do that because I think it would help everybody to evolve.
And the food's great too.
Oh, I can't wait for that. And I don't want to hog this mic. Please, my castmates.
No, you're in. This is it.
Say
You got it.
somebody really
We
don't.
want all the Native American people to be able to, every single one of them, from the little ones to the older ones, to be able to perpetuate themselves, their families, their culture, and be able to do anything that they can possibly do, not only in the media, but in the whole world. Anything that they want to do, they are able to do that without any doubt at all. Just be strong, look forward, and be positive.
I think the Native Film Festivals are taking a big step in that direction because they show a spectrum of Native life, from really positive to some of the less positive aspects of it, and that's part of acculturating into the mainstream a group that's been kind of ostracized, as we know historically, and bringing everybody in together into one group again. I think the film festival and the independent film industry is very important.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're honored. Thank you. Thank you.
Yellow Rock.
Yellow Rock. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Do we have anybody else, or is that it? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wiley Drake Show live, and we were here for the red carpet event, and we'll stay online here just a moment. Do we have someone else? All right. Come on down. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Linda, tell us what you're doing here today.
Well, I am here to support the fair, beautiful Miss Rita Coolidge and the Native American community, which I have done for so long. And I'm so proud to have this beautiful evening and to be able to participate with my friend Jimmy Lee Young and his band, who have been so supportive of my foundation, Linda Blair World Heart, which is for animal and human welfare. And we have a big dog rescue here in Southern California, and they have donated their time, their legs, walking dogs, and cleaning, and office, and they do everything to help out.
Right on.
So you're also supporting Rita Coolidge. What can you tell us about? Have you seen her perform before? Or?
I have never seen Rita perform before, but being that we are all in the same age group, young and fabulous,
Somebody's aging us again.
it is a great honor to be here tonight, and we're so excited because, of course, she is now getting her again Grammy nominations, and people need to realize, for any artists that have been around for all these years, to be recognized again for the amazing work, and her artistry is, I'm sure, in her spirit. She's so excited, as are we, for her to be recognized, and we've been fans for a long time.
she got to
What can you tell us about your foundation? I know that you work with a lot of rescued dogs, pit bulls, and stuff like that. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the organization started in 2001. I've been rescuing and doing animal welfare. And we used to visit the Children's Hospital. So, again, it's for animal and human welfare. And I started the nonprofit organization because I felt that it was really time to put my name behind it, to let people know how serious I am. There are so many different issues that need attention brought to them. So at first it was for children who are the voiceless and need our help. And then it was seniors. Then it was the environment. And then it was, I scuba dive, so I brought attention to the sea mammals and to how we pollute our oceans and what we need to do. Then I became a vegetarian in 1988, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, we're using toxins on the food, and then that goes into the rivers and how it affects the animals and what people are eating, and this is where disease is going to come from. So everything that I stood for has in fact happened. So I wrote a book called Going Vegan, and the animals have always been part of my life since I was a child. And I live my life very much, I believe, like the Native American beliefs are, spirituality, and that to give great appreciation and gratitude for everything that we have. And that is something I think that has been lost, and our young people are very angry. We've taken away the arts. We've taken away sports. We've taken away. So if you take away, you must give something back. And with the animals, they're the ones that have become the victims at this point because there's a lot of anger and violence in the world. So take it out on an animal. This needs to stop. I want to see everybody spay and neutered in the animal community. I want to see people being licensed to have pets so the accountability goes back to the original owners, not to somebody that's just letting them go in the streets. It costs taxpayer money, and we are killing way too many animals, especially in California, but really around the world and in North America and Canada. So I know that I've been on a lot of different properties and casinos, and I believe that the Native American community believes in what I am trying to do, and they support and understand. I'm here to make the world a better place, not to take from it, but to give back. And I'm asking for people to understand the need to spay and neuter and not to let an animal die a lonely death or just be born to die or abused, dog fighting. All of it needs to end. So that's really how strong the foundation is and what we want to do. But it's giving back and love to each and every one. And there's just too much anger in the world right now. So I know we can do better, and that's what I'm trying to do.
One last question. What are your thoughts? I don't know if you're familiar with FNX, First Nations Experience.
I am. I've seen it.
What are your thoughts on a TV station that 24/7 dedicates its programming to Native and Indigenous cultures?
Fabulous. Hurrah! It's about time.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Just one quick question, Jim. Jimmy Mace, I guess for both of you, really. You mentioned about taking things away. There's something that's dear to my heart that's dear to your heart, I'm sure yours as well. But music, we're here for a festival, and the schools have taken away, and the government's taken away money, obviously, and from our reservation. Of course, we didn't really talk about that, but music's such a vibrant and major part of our life. I don't care if it's music. Without music, we've got nothing. So it just doesn't matter what type of music. But being at the culture of today, Native, whether it be Native or you guys, of course, a little bit of rock and roll as well, I think it's very important. What's your opinion on the way the state of music is today, as far as schools and just in general?
I think the music industry is hard up right now because of the downloading, the way that they, restructured the music industry. When an artist looks at a $100 check and their song was played 10,000 times at a penny a play, how is any artist going to continue doing this? We do it because we love it, and money is not a factor for
right.
it. But this begins in youth, and it begins in the schools. And without music education, the kids are going to lose out on a lot of developmentally. I mean, we're really good about giving money to sports, and I was an athlete, so I understand that, but it has to be a balance for their young minds. We can't just put money in one thing and then take it away from the other, because we're having, like Linda said, a lot of anger, a lot of despondency, a lot of hopelessness, and it's because we've taken so much away from the kids, and part of that is the arts, music. So here, these types of events show support for music and bring that back to the public and show them that music is cool and is worth something.
Yeah, support what you said, kind of Sammy Hagar did today on the awards. He said the music business is getting bad. The record business is all I mean, it's died, basically dying dinosaur, because of the way the kids are getting in the back door on the reality TV shows. They're not paying their dues.
It's not fame, it's infamy.
Yeah.
When you can take a nude picture of your buttocks and put that on TV and you know, it goes viral on the internet, well, that's not really fame. That's infamy. You're not famous for anything productive whatsoever. I'm not mentioning any names.
I won't either.
I don't want to make any enemies.
Any of that.
Chelsea, if you're out there.
But, you know, basically that we have to show support for music. And tonight, Rita Coolidge, who is amazing, with 3 nominations at the American Music Awards, and so many Native artists who are here tonight, we have to show support. And right now, I am the Los Angeles Music Awards Native American Artist of the Year. I've gotten it twice.
Right.
And this is a responsibility that I didn't get 27 music awards to look at them on my wall and say, "Oh, look what we've done." That you have to take that back to the community, which we've done. We're doing performances at the military base at Edwards Air Force Base for Native Heritage Month. Last night I played for the kids. It's called Hearts Apart, which is for mothers and fathers too who have a military partner who is away at sea.
I saw that on the...
So last night we had the kids playing the drums and doing all kinds of things. It was great. And it's up to us. We're the musicians. We're actually also record label owners, and so it's really up to us to put forth that.
Yeah, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer too. I teach kids both the native drum and drumming, and just give lessons on my own sometimes because kids need music out. They need an outlet, man. You know, I played professional hockey. I'm one of the few Native Americans that play professional hockey, believe it or not. And I do the same thing. I give kids, you know, some fun, just teach them how to a skill. Just teach them how to have fun and do what they're doing, and give them some you know, positive.
Can I do a plug real quick?
Sure you can.
Please do.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Lee Young. Please give to the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation. FNX.
And Linda, one other question.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.
One other question. This is Wiley Drake Show, and we're family. We like what you're saying, and I know my audience does. If they would like to find out more information about what you're talking about in protecting people and animals, and if they'd like to invest, tell them how to invest in this very important work.
Well, thank you very much. It's the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation, found at lindablairworldheart.org. And if you're on Facebook, it's Linda Blair World Heart Foundation. And we're one of the largest animal rescues in the country. And right here in Southern California, we have a 100-dog license, and we rescue from the streets, abandoned, shelters, those that are left up in the deserts to either deal with the freezing temperatures or the extreme heat. So there's a lot of sadness, but we bring joy to their lives, and it's all through your donations to pay for the medical, their food, their water, to look for new homes. And so your donations would be well spent. You can volunteer. Just sign up at the lindablairworldheart.org. We're on Facebook, and let us know that you care, that you have a heart, and I promise every dollar goes straight to the animals that you so care about, as do I.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate that. And folks, there's a way you can get involved. You can do it. You might not be able to take in hundreds of animals, or you might not be able to rescue hundreds of animals, but you can be a part of the rescue that is going on, that Linda and the rest of these folks are doing. And we thank God for that, and we thank our audience here tonight for listening in. Go to that website again. Give it one more time, please.
lindablairworldheart.org. lindablairworldheart.org. And if you forget, just think Linda Blair and animals, and it'll pop up on your computer.
There you go.
And like us on Facebook, and you truly can make a difference by showing your support.
Amen. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? We're still live on the air. Go ahead.
We like pea soup. As long as it's vegan.
All right. All right. As long as it's vegan. All right.
Pete Allman. How are you?
Hi, Pete. How are you?
I talked to Jimmy earlier. I want to cover those two things, your book, and also we want to cover the animals. You know?
Made you laugh.
That was a good one.
Well, that's just good for the soul. It's good for the soul.
water on the side.
There you go.
So we're here with Linda Blair, actress Linda Blair, and of course her organization with Jimmy Lee Young and his wonderful band. And we're talking about two very important things. One is being healthy by eating the right foods.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to be vegan. Linda is. And the other function will be dealing with animals and how to treat your animals, which is very important. First, let's talk about the importance of what's happening to our kids in our society and dealing with fast foods and how they're genetically magnified, which is not good for the body, and what you're doing about it by being an example yourself of being a vegan.
Well, here's what happened back in 1988 when the information really started coming out about how we were farming animals, about the environment and the oceans. And if people go back and remember, they called us extremists, the environmentalists. And I was just, in the beginning stages. But, I'm watching just like little kids do, and I'm watching and thinking. Anyway, once I saw a lot of things for myself, I realized a lot of it is big corporations, and they need to get from the earth what they need to make their money. So it isn't the people that they care about, or the land, or the oceans. So as time has evolved, and I've had so much time to contemplate, I feel like the people have been almost used as guinea pigs, and that it was okay to put out products that may not have been approved, food that wasn't approved, what they did to genetically alter and modify, and how we grew our crops, and the toxins and the poisons, pesticides, how we farm animals, gets into the animal and into the food. Now, my book, what I talk about is with diabetes. I talk about a lot of different issues. It's called Going Vegan. You can find out any of this information on the internet. You don't even have to buy my book.
But where is the book? Where can we locate the book?
LindaBlairWorldHeart.org sometimes.
Well, how about putting it on Amazon too?
Amazon was really hard for me to deal with. You couldn't send them 13 books. You had to send them 12.
Okay.
I learned the hard way with Amazon. But yes, I'm self-published, and I live the life, and I talk about the different issues. But with the kids in school, everything got supersized, and the foods, they're made in such a way that you become addicted to them, and you can never get satisfaction, and you can't understand why. So here's what I tell people.
Okay.
With soda, if you are addicted to soda, let's say, go get a bubbly water, get a fruit juice, get a something. There's a couple colas that are all natural that you can find at your health food store, so you can sort of get in the process. But I say start with a bubbly water with all your different flavors and so on. Get rid of the soda, because there's a lot of chemicals in it, and everybody is knowing, they know about it at this point. Watch your sizes. So you can't just, if you think you can eat this huge plate of food and not have repercussions from it, you're wrong. I'm only 5'3", but I eat what is, size proportion for me. I juice, and I drink soy. I'm a soy drinker. You can have almond milk. You can have your rice milk. You put your protein powders in there. You put your fresh fruits, and you can put your greens in there.
It is good too. I do it. I use soy milk in the morning. I juice. I don't juice. I mix everything up, with carrots and apples and blueberries and bananas, and that's good. I do want to say one thing. There's a pro and a con situation when it comes to food, and I will say those people that like fast foods, there is Tender Greens, there is Chipotle, which has their free-range chicken and beef from Australia, and there is, besides Chipotle, Subway, some of their things are okay, they're salads. So if you got to eat fast food, at least that's
just investigate and find out the ones that have products that you can have. And some of them are trying to say we're getting more healthy, but you still have to do your homework and research. And I take a little food bag with me wherever I go. So I've got snacks and things in there that I might want to have. Obviously water and juices and whatever. So I take my stuff with me because that's how my mom raised me. I'm still doing it.
We're running out of time a little bit. There's some other people that want to be spoken to. But before we leave, I must talk about animals. My friend Randy Massaro, a wonderful animal activist, and of course, you have a big reserve for dogs and so forth. I was just talking to Lou Gossett Jr., because he has an organization called the Racism.org Foundation. We won't go into that right now, but what is important, up in Malibu, they have a lot of coyotes. But they're handling that where they don't have to trap them and kill them. In Seal Beach, they're killing the coyotes because they don't know how to haze them and properly handle all these situations. Your thoughts on that subject and what you're doing and helping the coyotes and other animals?
Well, I don't deal with the coyotes
You don't?
at all. So
Okay.
what's happening in Seal Beach is out of control. It's a lot of people that are scared, and so they did it. The officials did it in the way, city council, that they thought was the right way to do, because it's fear driven. Now, as you say, up in Malibu they're doing it correctly. There are many different ways. I can't get involved. I don't live in that particular city, but I certainly have a lot of opinions about it.
Sure.
And you have to remember, we've had a lot of fire, we've had a lot of flooding, we've had all these situations, so they're coming in to feed in water. And there are ways to take care of the process, the overpopulation process. There are ways.
Yes, there
we're
are.
coming up with them all the time, and the way that they are trapping and killing is, once people saw it and understood it, they found it was barbaric, and now they're retaliating, saying, no, this is not what we want. So Malibu is taking care, so they need to share their work and their efforts in that way. But as far as animals, let's talk about the pet overpopulation.
Absolutely.
People are letting animals go right and left. They don't know what to do. They leave a house. They leave them inside. They don't spay and neuter. Either they don't have the money, and we need to be able to provide, and there are many places that you can get your spay and neuters done, certificates. Call around. Right here in Long Beach, they just did a huge spay and neuter thing a couple weeks back, and it took care of many people. They couldn't afford. It's very expensive, and the vets need to participate more. I also say to people, make sure your vet's in order, so if your animal is sick, and it all comes down to food, I actually been feeding a food called Nutrisource, Nutri Source, and I believe the food that you feed your animal, the lower end food, is going to cause repercussions, whether it's cancer or different illnesses in your pet. So please understand, no table scraps. You need to feed a good quality food that will give them longevity and doesn't allow you to have to take them to the vets as often. But have your vets in order, so when you do go, you don't have to be given the situation, here's a $3,000 bill and you can't afford it and have to put your dog down or cat. And we all have been through that sadness. So the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation really tries to make a difference to help people to find these alternatives. But stop if you know somebody that's letting their pet go on the street, or lend a helping hand. When somebody says, I really can't keep my pet anymore, my mother is sick, I have to move in with my family. Try it and lend a helping hand. Anytime you walk into a shelter, 90% of the time, it's going to be euthanized, the pet, unless there's about a couple hundred rescue groups in Southern California. We're full. Everybody's full. And so I'm begging people, spay and neuter and vaccinate. It's not about the rabies. That's once a year, once every 3 years. I'm begging you, when you get your puppies, you must give the necessary shots, or they get parvo and distemper. We're having a horrible time with that right now.
Your website?
LindaBlairWorldHeart.org. Like us on Facebook, and you can send a message if you have any questions.
And before we leave, what is your favorite movie that you were involved with that you think brings a positive message to our audience out there?
Oh, I don't know about that, but you got Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen, which will make you laugh.
He's a funny guy.
He was a funny guy.
Yeah, I know. Now he's in heaven.
Yeah, that's right. Making them laugh.
Yeah.
Sweet Hostage with Martin Sheen was one of my favorites that I did.
Good actor.
And of course, there's movies I did like Born Innocent, which shed light on, why do teenagers run away?
Exactly.
Because it's abuse at home, alcoholism. So I did, Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic. We need to give back more to these kids that feel like they're not loved, they don't know what to do, and abusive parents need to be turned in.
And regarding the people out there, and regarding young people, and we have a lot of problems, and Lou Gossett Jr. is dealing with this right now, with kids that don't have any feelings because they haven't been brought up properly. And they don't know how to overcome obstacles. So, from your point of view, how did you overcome your obstacles? What was that power within you that allowed you to overcome those obstacles?
Well, I think it is how you raise your parents. And then I was raised as a Protestant. We are non-judgmental, but we are taught to be compassionate and giving. I truly, I believe, an example of the church that I was raised in as a Protestant, and it's giving back. But it's the lessons that parents teach or that they don't teach, putting rules, curfews, sports, activities, arts, or discounts. Otherwise, kids don't have kids.
There you are, right here on Celebrity Scene News, and from all of us at Celebrity Scene News, we say this to you. Keep your visions positive and keep positive people around you. Until then, I'm Pete Allman. This is Linda Blair, Jimmy Lee Young and the band saying bye-bye.
All right. Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
I'll give you a call.
Yes.
Right, you
Cool.
send me some
When are you
information.
gonna put that on? So
This was live right now.
This is live right now.
okay. And then when so this
Just stand up here, though. Just get on the other side. We're going to put Saginaw and Cher between. Don't go anywhere. It's like a family reunion here.
Yeah.
Linda Blair, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yay, Linda.
Elder. Hey, Saginaw.
He's down there, Randy.
Did I see it?
How are you? What's next to Saginaw? No, I'm going to stay on.
No, you need to come here with us.
No, I'm direct.
You look beautiful.
And this is Darla.
Wasn't she?
All studded.
Hi. And can I ask you guys what you're doing here today? What's going on today that brings you out here?
Well, he was asking why we came out tonight.
What brings you out here today, Saginaw?
The doings.
The doings. The doings.
The doings.
The show.
The show. Rita is an old friend. We did a film together many, many years ago. And I came to say hello to her. She's headlining the show tonight. Saginaw's an old friend of hers as well. And there's some really stellar Native American artists and musicians who are here celebrating Native Harmonies, which is the name of the show. And we are here to applaud and support.
Okay.
Especially.
Excellent. And how important is it to support Native events like this and support our Native community?
Saginaw, you want to take that?
I think that the people that live here in this country don't know who we are. It's the foreign people who want to know more about us. And I can understand that. And this is why a lot of these get-outs are happening. So people will know who we really are. I mean, we have doctors, lawyers, even a senator and congressman here, rock stars. We're involved in a lot of branches of civilization, you might say. But they don't know that. We're a forgotten people. You know, it goes back to the boarding schools. When I was going to school, I couldn't talk my own language. When the Pilgrims came over here, why did you come over here? Because you got freedom of religion. They got their freedom, but they took ours away from us. And it has to be known, these things that are like this, and this is what I speak about, this is what I talk about. I think that people should get to know who we are and how important we are to this nation, because this is our land.
That's right.
We belong here. We're not immigrants.
That's right.
And this is my message that I carry wherever I go. I can associate with anybody. I can intertwine with anybody, work with anybody. We all have that ability as Native people. And as long as people don't know who we are, they look at us as, they call us savages. We had the most important civilization here in this country. We never fought each other. There weren't no wars. There was no ownership of a certain piece of land. But after they came, Caucasian people came, they pushed us way further back. And that's what they're doing, still doing today. How many times have you heard politicians or even the leaders, the mayors of these different cities, they talk about the Asian power, the black power, the white power? Were never mentioned. In any speech that's been given, and I've asked people, I've asked CNN, why don't they know who we are? It's as if we disappeared already. That's what they were trying to do anyway, get us away from everybody. Like I said, this is my message that I carry. And rebel rouser. I speak the truth. And everything that I say when I talk is the truth. It's proven by the things that were written down on paper. Why hasn't the government of this United States apologized to my people? Why can't they say, we're sorry our ancestors treated your ancestors poorly?
Amen.
But they can't say that. Why? They know it's true. They can't hide it. Everyone here on Mother Earth knows it. But they don't admit it. And I don't know why.
Right on.
I get
They probably think the casinos are is part of a way of saying, gee, here, you know. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the casinos, they're beneficial to some of my people,
But they got their hand in the pot, doesn't matter.
yeah, everything is
We'll just
involved
shoot
with
it.
But tonight we have many Native artists and musicians.
That's right.
And we have dancers. And Elaine Myers is here, who is one of the best dancers I've ever seen. If you don't know who she is, pay attention, because you will. Who else is on the roster here? Do you know?
I haven't really met it.
Rita Coolidge, Shelby Morning Song
yeah.
is here.
Yeah,
Well, we'll find out when we get in.
Yeah.
And if we could get a shot with Linda with us. Linda, would you come over here?
I
Saginaw
would
and Linda
be
are
my
recent
honor.
acquaintances. Recently, last month, we did a showing of The Exorcist in Eagle Rock, and Linda was gracious enough to set up a booth, and the band played. It was rocking and rolling. Linda kissed, hugged, and took pictures with just everybody there. She's such a nice lady, right? And she and Saginaw seem to be sharing a special bond for their love of animals. So tonight, it's about people, and it's about music, and it's about the animals and Mother Earth. When Indians come together, we try to make it a good thing.
Amen.
Positive love.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
I think if I could just end it with, when Saginaw and I met, he did not know the beliefs of Linda Blair and the Linda Blair World Heart Foundation. And then I have engaged on a journey to try to make a difference. And he saw someone that he had a kindred spirit to, and that is, I believe, our friendship. And everything, as he has said tonight, is in my heart, and I know to be the truth. And we do owe the Native American community apologies.
Amen.
We owe them a helping hand. We owe them friendship, because we all share this land together, but they were here first.
Amen.
And I recognize that, and I know that. And Saginaw understood that I understand his journey, and I am, and I hope he always knows his friend, and theirs, and yours.
And we're going to take him inside now.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saginaw.
All right, Soto.
Thank you so much.
How you doing? Hi. What brings you out here today?
Well, we're a couple of the dancers that are going to be performing a little bit later on, and we came out here to support Rita Coolidge and my cousin Tracy Nelson.
Excellent. And Tracy, I was watching him warm up, and amazing,
Awesome.
yeah, amazing guitar player. And so, when was the first time that you actually saw him perform? Can you talk to us about that?
I think the first time I seen him perform was at an elder's birthday party on the reservation when I was like maybe a teenager, a young teen. And then he just started blowing up. Everybody knows him now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I got to see him when people were dancing to his music on the dirt in the front yard.
Cool. And so, are you from the San Diego area as well? Or,
Yeah, I am. I'm from Paula, Copeño, but I also have Luceño in my family as well.
Okay. Are you guys familiar with FNX, First Nations Experience at all?
I've heard of that, yes.
What are your thoughts on a 24/7 station that covers Native American and Indigenous events? And
I think it's about time.
Yeah, definitely. And how important is it to participate in events like this, in events that showcase Native talent and honor musicians and stuff like that?
I personally think it's wonderful because there's a lot of people out there who only get to see us in the movies, and they have a totally different perspective of what we're really about, or that I've met a lot of people that didn't even know that there was Indians out here in California. And we're all individuals. We all have our own different styles of dancing and singing, our own traditional ways. And I think that people need to see that and, experience it.
Excellent. Anybody else?
I think it's very important because growing up like in the city is different from the rest, and people don't really recognize us as people, and when we come together, it's wonderful.
I think it's San Diego, Saginaw and Sam Verpon and Rick and I, we were all on the Union Bank series for the Community Matters a couple years ago. I shot a commercial with them for the San Diego Wellness Clinic down in, I don't know if you're aware. Do you know that place at all?
The Wellness Center?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it doing? I haven't, since we did the commercial, I don't know.
I don't know, honestly.
I was just curious. I might know.
Actually, Sam Verpon married my husband and I.
That's good to know. Anything else you guys want to say right now? You have a national voice. We're a national TV station.
Just keep the spirits up, keep a positive attitude, and enjoy anything and everything you do. That's
Be proud of who you are. Definitely.
Amen.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And this is not only national but international, so if you'd like to give out a website, a phone number, anything that you'd like to have people get in touch with you.
Well, my email is ndnbling, and my name is Sonia Flores, and I do a lot of presentations at schools throughout San Diego County, actually in the United States. So if anybody's ever interested in having an educational performance at their school or any type of show, feel free to call me, contact me.
All right. How do they contact you again?
Through email.
Okay.
ndnbling, B-L-I-N-G, @yahoo.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm just going to use this light real quick to
Okay.
do an open and close.
Okay, go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Allman. Scoot over to your right a little, Pete. Getting better in the light. There you go.
Hello, I'm Pete Allman for the Wiley Drake Show on Celebrity Scene News, and today we're going to talk to various wonderful people and see what they have to say about, well, American Native Indians, certainly about justice and equality, and their movies and a number of other things. So check it out. All right.
Very good.
And I'll do my own.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we're going to do, Pete's going to do his own show there, and so do your intro. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Pete Allman with Celebrity Scene News. We're here in Long Beach regarding the American Native celebration, if you would, with Rita Coolidge and a number of other stars. We'll talk to those stars, find out what they think about equality, about fairness among all races, and a number of other subjects with Linda Blair, Rick Mora, and so forth. Until then, keep your visions positive and check this out.
All right. Thank you so much, Pete Allman, ladies and gentlemen. And we are in Long Beach, and we'll close this down now at this